Console exclusives are a thing. Some people don't think they are, but they are. And there are some really, really good ones out there. And we're going to go over them today. We're going to kick off this list with the Uncharted series. This series kicked all the way off back in 2007 for the PlayStation 3, and then it was later moved over to the PS4 for Uncharted 4 and Uncharted The Lost Legacy. This action-adventure series mainly follows Nathan Drake, who is an adventurer and treasure hunter on his various journeys as the modern-day Indiana Jones. That's kind of what pulled me into the series. It takes him across the world and in the crosshairs of various militias who, of course, want him dead while he's trying to traverse everything, find the treasures, do his thing. It is an amazing series. If you've never been involved in it, start from the very first one. Next up, we have Halo 3. Now, the Halo series is not technically an Xbox exclusive, since a decent amount of the games in the franchise have been released for the PC, but we're going to put Halo 3 at the number 9 spot since it was only released on the Xbox 360 in 2007. Halo 3 finished Bungie's trilogy by concluding the story of Master Chief, the Arbiter, and the Prophets, and also included one of the greatest multiplayer experiences that gaming has ever seen. Let's hope, Halo fans, that Halo Infinite can bring us back to the glory days of the series. At number 8, we have The Last of Us. I know, why is this at number 8? Well, wait till we get to number 1. This PS3 exclusive was released in 2013 and then remastered for the PS4 in 2014 and is widely regarded as one of the greatest games ever made. You played as a man named Joel as he tried to desperately protect himself and a young girl named Ellie after a horrific outbreak turns much of the human population into zombie-like creatures and forces those who weren't infected into this violent turf war. Now, the sequel is currently in development, and I think it's safe to say that expectations are through the roof. At number 7, we have Bayonetta 2. Now, the first Bayonetta wasn't a console exclusive, but the second game was released only for the Wii U, which it was a bit of a strange move on the developer's part, but it was forgiven partially because Nintendo helped personally fund the game's development in the first place. Plus, the game is really, really good. Bayonetta 2 is a stylish, over-the-top hack and slash that is really just more of the first game, but with better graphics and more combat variety. And you can't really be upset about a sequel being more of the original when the original was so freaking solid. Like Halo, Gears of War is a series that you can't really call an Xbox exclusive since a good portion of the games were on PC as well, but Gears of War 3 was not one of them. What is it with threes? Halo 3, Gears of War 3, and that's convenient for this list because it is also widely regarded as the best in the series. Released in 2011, Gears 3 concluded the original trilogy and also added tons of new features like multiplayer modes, 4-player split screen, and the expansion of Horde mode, and the introduction of Beast mode, which is something that I really hope comes back for Gears 5. Speaking of 5, cracking into the top 5, let's go with the God of War series. Now, the God of War franchise got a bit of a makeover earlier this year with the reboot completely redoing the gameplay, but it is still deserving of a spot on this list because the God of War series is one of the few franchises that I can think of every single game has been at least a solid B. Now, it started off as a hack and slasher and has since evolved into much more of a grounded third-person action-adventure game, if you will, but all of them. It's safe to say all of them were solid. Which version of God of War do you prefer? At number 4, and I'm going to keep this short and sweet, Super Smash Bros. The series. I mean, obviously, it's an extremely popular crossover fighting game that has been released on every Nintendo console since '99. The original was on N64, then Melee was on GameCube, then Brawl was on Wii, then Smash 4 on the Wii U, and later this year, we will be getting Ultimate on the Switch. So which Smash game is your favorite out of all of those exclusives? At number 3, we have Spider-Man. This Spider-Man, the recent Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2018. It is more than deserving of a spot on the list, and it's also an example of how Sony has been killing it in terms of their exclusives recently. The open-world action game has you playing as an experienced Spidey in a new story that had some familiar faces as well as brand new ones. Now, the swinging and the combat in the game are some of the best that a Spidey game has ever seen, and I'm excited, along with a lot of other people, to see what the DLC adds to this superhero adventure. At number 2, we have Lost Odyssey. Now, this often forgotten RPG was released for the Xbox 360 in late 2007 in Japan and then internationally the next year. Despite getting positive reviews, the game was not very well marketed and didn't exactly sell well, but it has since gained a cult following, many of whom have been begging Microsoft to bring it back for a sequel. If you're a fan of RPGs and been looking for something new to play and you still have your 360 lying around, go give Lost Odyssey a chance. You will not be disappointed. And finally, this was a no-brainer. The Super Mario series. I mean, come on. Arguably the most important franchise in gaming history. The original Mario Bros. Managed to... They pulled the gaming industry out of its crash in the early 80s, and with each new installment, Nintendo continues to prove why it refuses to give up its spot as the best family-friendly gaming company around. So, I have to ask one more time. Which Super Mario game is your favorite? And those are some of the best console exclusives ever made, but there are many, many more, so I want you guys to tell me one that didn't make this list that deserved to in the comment section. My name is Chaos. This has been another episode of Gaming Facts by Gameology, and I'll see you soon.